Welcome to the BF Anderson Technical Report for January 30th. We're continuing to see a very strong uptrend in the Nasdaq. We did get a pullback this week due to the coronavirus scare, pulled it back to the upper moving average, held, and has rallied back. So it's looking okay. We continue to see the weekly trends as being very, very positive. Really no problem there other than the fact that the market is somewhat extended, could be looking at a pullback here. Now, I did want to mention here again this particular ratio. This is the comparing the value stocks to the growth stocks. And I think the important message is you've got to decide early on in your investing life which strategy makes the most sense to you. I was a value manager between the years of 1982 and 1995. Then in June of 1995, I decided to switch to growth, mainly because growth just makes a lot of sense to me. And the value strategy is a very viable strategy. It just didn't really resonate with my mind. So the problem that comes in here is that you'll get a growth cycle that lasts 28 months. Then you get a value cycle that lasts 18 months, and then you simply say to yourself, well, value's doing better than growth, therefore I'm going to switch. Well, by the time you switch to the value strategy, the growth strategy takes off and the value strategy starts to underperform. So basically the message here is try to determine what type of mind you have. Do you have a growth mind or do you have a value mind? Because if you're the type of person that wants to buy stocks that are cheap and undervalued and all that kind of stuff, that's a completely different strategy. But my main message is once you decide, stick with it. Don't jump around, because if you jump around, you're going to make some big mistakes. Now, on the MACD indicator for the S&P, we're still looking very positive momentum. Moving averages look fine. Now, on the value line geometric, I did want to mention, we're really struggling here to keep that buy signal on that MACD. It is improving, and it is on a buy signal, but barely. Now, the only other negative is on the 1020, you've got a death cross here, and we would really like to see a golden cross. So the value line geometric continues to lag. On the global Dow, we're in a little different situation. The global stocks, we are getting the MACD buy signal, and we do have the golden cross. So international stocks are actually starting to look pretty good. Now on China, we're dealing again with that coronavirus. However, we are on a buy signal on the PGJ, which is the Golden Dragon ETF, which is all the stocks that trade in the United States that are Chinese based. But you can see here too that the moving averages are starting to converge here. We would really like to see those moving averages turn up. On the small caps, again, the same basic story. We're barely on a buy signal. In fact, we're actually not on a buy signal right now on the small caps. They continue to lag as well. That's not a good sign. We want to see the small caps get going here. Now, on the put-call ratio, we are seeing a little bit of fear coming in here. We got extreme greed down here, and we're starting to see some type of a retracement. Would like to see this get back up into this general area. Now, I went back and I looked at a ratio of stocks to bonds. And what we did is we went back and said, okay, when people are risk averse, and risk is a main factor in the economy and in the stock market, people are going to buy bonds. So when this particular ratio is going up, it's telling you that stocks are doing better than bonds. So we went back to 2012 just to kind of make some points here. This is where you got a MACD cross on the ratio, meaning that the momentum for stocks started to pick up here. So the question then becomes, what happened next? Well, let's look. Well, really good things happened. This is where you got the cross. And 12, 13, 14. In other words, the market really took off after that particular indication. Now let's look at another time period. Let's go to, this is 2016. You can see here that we got the MACD cross. Again, this is stocks versus bonds. and we got the MACD cross. What happened next? Well, really good things happened. We had a pullback, and then, right into the election, and then boom, things really took off in 17 especially. 17 was really, really a good situation. So the next question would be, how are we looking now, today? Well, we just got on November, December, late November actually, we just got the MACD cross on stocks versus bonds recently. So what this is basically saying is we really could be at the very beginning of a major, this could be indicating a bottom, not a top. So stocks are starting to outperform bonds, and the reason that's important is that when you've got all this fear in the system, you've got to be aware of the fact that people are going to go to bonds and then shift back to stocks. Hopefully that's the case. So let's look at the top 5 real quick. This is Axsome Therapeutics, again, biotech, stocks consolidating its gains, holding the gap up. This is Shopify. This is an old favorite of ours. This is a company that basically competes with Amazon, and it's making new highs, and Amazon's not making new highs. Very nice uptrend. Continue to watch Shopify. ST Microelectronics, another semiconductor. You can see here holding that 10-day moving average. We call this porosity, where it's porous. This is a porous moving average here, but the stock looks good. Here's an aerospace company called Transdim. Very positive uptrend. Continue to see good activity in the aerospace group. Now on Tesla, we own the stock. We bought the stock really about 60 days ago. And to put this into perspective, because we have basically doubled our money in the stock. I mean, when we first found it and started buying it, was right here on this breakout here, which was around 275. Well, this morning, they announced earnings last night. This morning, the stock's trading around 620 to the 650 range. So if you put it into perspective, last year the number one performing Dow stock was Apple Computer. Apple went up 80% over 12 months. This stock has basically doubled in less than 90 days. So something is clearly going on. They're having a reporting period called Battery Day in April, which should really bring out some information on their new battery technology, which we think is driving this. So all in all, things are looking very good. I think the trends continue up and this market continues higher. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.